At 2:11 a.m., the camera at room 19 caught a man in a gray hoodie walking past the ice machine with 2 paper cups. He never looked up. He never showed his face. A woman in that room stopped answering messages at 2:14 a.m., and no one saw her alive again. I cover cold cases for local radio, small towns, 2-lane highways, motels with buzzing signs. I record at a desk that shakes when trucks pass. This case began with a rumor. 3 women, 3 counties, 1 brand of motel, all near mile 41 on different interstates. Each check-in after midnight, each check-out missing. The tip came from a clerk named Nora. She worked nights at a roadside place called the Starlight. Cheap rooms, broken soda machine, a ledger with carbon copies pressed thin by years of hands. Nora said, "We lose people here. No one chases hard. Who wants this job on paper?" She slid me a stack of register slips clipped with a rusted binder clip, coffee stains, numbers pressed through 3 layers. Same bundle format for each week. I asked for the police reports. She pointed at the payphone outside. "Call the county. Ask for whatever is still in a box." The county sent photocopies, black smears, wrong dates on some pages. The first woman, Leah, age 28, checked into room 19 on a wet Thursday. A traffic stop near the exit showed a dented Civic at 1:49 a.m. No citation. Body cam down for 10 minutes with card full on the screen. The officer moved on. The clerk recorded a late check-in at 2:03 a.m. The camera showed the gray hoodie at 2:11. After that, static for 9 minutes. The second woman, Danny, age 33, checked into the same chain, different town, same room number. Room 19 again. She bought 2 cups of ice from the front desk. Why 2? No one wrote that down. Third, a traveling nurse, Mina, age 29. Same chain, same room number, 2 cups of ice again from the same kind of machine. The receipt for that machine sat in Nora's stack. A service call on a Monday. The repairman signed only once, no last name. Patterns form if you stare long enough. 3 room numbers, 3 ice runs, 3 cameras that cut out in the same 9-minute window on different weeks. I booked room 19 at the Starlight under my own name. One night, cash. Nora gave me a key with a bent brass tag. The door stuck. The chain hung loose. The carpet looked clean in patches under a yellow bulb. A faint chemical smell floated under the scent of old smoke. I set a small recorder on the table. I opened the motel binder, laminated pages with warnings from the fire marshal. No cooking, no space heaters, no guests after midnight. A note glued to the last page read, "Ice machine tokens at desk." I walked the outside hall. A soda machine hummed near the office. The ice machine sat next to it, yellowed and whirring. A hand-lettered sign said, "Use cups only." A cardboard box held stacks of paper cones. I took 2 cups. I filled one. The machine rasped and spat cube slivers. I watched the lens above the door while ice fell. A red dot blinked. The lens faced down. The angle missed the machine's dispenser by 1 foot. I knocked on room 21 and asked to borrow a lighter. A man opened the door with the chain on. He stared through the gap and shook his head. A TV played a game show behind him. Laughter leaked into the air and died fast in the damp. Back in room 19, I measured 9 steps from the bed to the bathroom, 4 to the door, 2 to the window. I counted again. I timed the lock with my phone. I stood where Leah would have stood, where Danny stood, where Mina stood. The recorder picked up trucks, a low fridge thump, the ice machine's rasp every 20 minutes. A soft rhythm joined at 1:53 a.m. Footsteps outside my door. Slow, measured, not a shuffle, Not a drunk sway. 5 steps passed, then silence. At 2:04 a.m., a key slid into the lock. Not mine. The knob tested, the chain caught with a small ring. A breath on the other side of wood. Calm. Patient. I said nothing. The breath stopped. The steps moved on. I waited 5 minutes. I opened the door and looked both ways. Empty hall, camera staring down. The ice machine breathed out a cloud and settled. I walked to the office window and knocked. Nora looked up from a crossword. "Need something?" she asked. 2 cups of ice, I said, stupid on purpose. She nodded toward the hall. "Help yourself." "Lose cameras often?" I asked. She held my eyes. "Only when someone wants a nap." "Who wants a nap?" I asked. She glanced at the side door that led to the laundry. "Old man Jack's on security. He runs cable for 3 motels. He hates that job. He likes naps." "What about the key in my door?" I asked. "Wrong room," she said. "Too fast." "Happens." I wrote the time on my hand. 2:04 a.m. I drove to the next town in daylight. Same chain, same layout. Room 19 emptied by housekeeping at noon. I asked the clerk, a tall guy with a cheap tie, about cameras. He said, "We have them." He said nothing else. Back in the car, I watched a time lapse I set overnight. No faces, no features, only that slow gray hoodie glide at 1:58 a.m. Then the red dot blink, then 9 minutes of dark, then video again. My recorder caught the chainring. No words, a breath, that calm pace. I searched state contracts for ice machine vendors. One company served both towns. The same repairman logged a maintenance call at both sites. Initials JB. The work order copied the same line twice. Replace feed line. Clean bin. I found a number for JB. The voicemail said, "Leave a message," then beeped. The mailbox filled with other voices. Men asking about filters. A manager shouting about a broken coin slot. Nora's voice near the end. "Jax. The camera on 1 goes blind again overnight. Fix the lens. I will bring coffee." Jack's security cameras, JB on the work order, Jack's on the voicemail. Same man. A tech with keys to rooms, access to cable junctions, and reason to stand near ice machines at 2 a.m. I called the county again and asked for patrol logs near mile 41 on the nights Leah and Danny went missing. A deputy returned my call after dinner. He sounded tired. He read from a screen. Broken taillights stop at 1:41 a.m. Warning only. Same plate both nights in different counties. White van. No company logo. Old registration. Address in a town that sits between both motels. He gave me the street. I drove there. A ranch house sat low behind cedar hedges. A white van without plates rested in the drive with 2 flat tires. A magnet from a defunct vending company peeled at one corner on the door. The porch held 5 coolers and a stack of cable spools. The doorbell died under my thumb. I knocked. No answer. The neighbor stepped out to smoke. He wore slippers. He said, "Jax is gone half the time. Comes back with scrap. Sleeps during ball games." He pointed the cigarette at the van. "He used to fix those soda things. Then he sat in a booth and watched screens for a while. Now he fixes boats, I think. Hard to tell." "Ever see women come to the house?" I asked. The neighbor blew smoke. "Once or twice. Looked like sales reps carrying cases. Never stayed. He sits alone. Talks to the TV." I left my card under a magnet on the door. The magnet held a paper note in block letters. Monday. Filter change. Starlight. 4 a.m. I booked room 19 again for the next Monday. Nora shook her head at the desk and slid me a key. "You keep picking that room," she said. "It makes the house nervous." "Why?" I asked. People talk, she said. Housekeepers hear everything. They hate 19. Do you? I asked. I hate every room after midnight, she said. Same wage either way. I set the recorder again. I placed a small camera on the rail outside my door, low, hidden by a dead potted plant. I angled it at the ice machine. The red dot above the hall watched the same spot from higher up. At 1:37 a.m., a white van rolled into the lot. No plates, no stickers. The driver wore a cap low. He backed into a space near the laundry door. He sat for a long time without moving. Then he climbed out. Short, thick neck, stiff walk. He carried a small toolbox and a coil of cable. He went into the laundry, used a key, and locked it behind him. I waited. My recorder picked up a hum from the wall, different than the fridge thump. A cable tone, a test signal. At 1:56 a.m., the red dot above the hall blinked and went dark. My hidden camera stayed alive. The white van driver stepped into the hall with a roll of paper cups under one arm and a shaved piece of wood in his hand. Not a tool, a shim. He set the cups in the box. He slipped the shim into my door at the latch. He touched the knob and looked both ways. He moved on to room 21 and did the same. He stopped at 23 and shrugged. He went back to the laundry. At 2:03 a.m., a new figure appeared on my camera. Gray hoodie, same glide, same calm pace. He carried 2 cups to the machine. He filled both. He left one on the edge. He brought the second to my door. He leaned the cup on the knob. He pressed the bell once. He stayed right of the peephole. He waited. Always the same. I did not open. I listened to the breath through wood, calm, marked by a soft whistle on the exhale. Old broken nose sound if you have heard fighters in cheap gyms. He moved on. He did the same at room 21. He took the extra cup and left. The red dot came back on at 2:12 a.m. The hall looked empty under the official lens. My hidden angle recorded every step. I pulled my camera in at 2:30 a.m. I backed up the file to a drive and left the room. I walked to the laundry and knocked. No answer. I tried the knob. Locked. I took the side hall and found the cable junction. A new splitter hung half screwed to the wall. 2 camera lines routed into a single barrel. A switch wired between them to cut feed. A nap button. I walked back to the office. Nora lifted her head. "He here?" I asked. She looked at the laundry door and then at the ledger. "Who?" she asked. "The man with the shim," I said. "The one who hates 19. Her mouth went tight. "You should leave," she said. "Room 19 is a hard room." "He set up a kill switch on your cameras," I said. "He has a key that slips the latch." She slid the ledger away from my hands. "Keys go missing," she said. "Switches break." I took the pen and wrote the time on the blotter, 2:41 a.m. "Call the county," I said. "Now." She said nothing. I stepped outside and dialed the deputy who sent me logs. He answered on the second ring. I gave him the town, the room number, the van with no plates, the man with the cap and the coil. I told him about the gray hoodie with the whistling breath. He said, "Stay where you are. Do not run a light. We are 10 minutes out." I sat on the curb in front of the soda machine. Trucks hissed by on the highway. The ice unit rasped and dumped another load. My recorder picked up the rhythm in my pocket. A whistle on the exhale rose behind me. I stood and turned. The gray hoodie faced me from 10 feet away. No face, cap low, shoulders calm. He held 2 cups of ice, one in each hand. He offered the left. "Hot in the hall," he said. Voice smooth, age hard to place, a smoker's friction tucked under the words. "Stay right there," I said. I raised my hands with my palms out. My heart kicked the inside of my ribs in short bursts. He smiled without teeth. "Thirsty," he said. "Room 19 always needs ice." I glanced at the office window. Nora stood behind the glass with the phone in her hand. She did not dial. The laundry door opened behind the hoodie. The short man with the cap stepped out. He carried a cable tester and a strip of drywall in the other hand. He saw me and froze. The hoodie turned his head toward the laundry. "You cut the feed," he said. Not a question. The short man lowered the cable tester. "You running late," he said. "Had to circle," the hoodie said. He handed the right cup to the short man. "Hold that." I took one step back and raised my voice. "Deputies on the way." The hoodie's shoulders settled lower. He placed the left cup on the ice machine. He stepped forward and set both hands behind his back, wrists crossed. He smiled again with no teeth. "No need," he said. "We can talk." The short man blinked at him, then at me. He made the choice in his face. He ran. The hoodie did not move. He kept his wrists crossed and watched the laundry haul. His breath made that soft whistle on the out. Calm. Measured. I chased the short man. He cut through the laundry to the back lot and hit the white van. The engine coughed. A deputy cruiser turned in from the highway with lights off, then hit the siren. The short man jumped from the van and ran for the ditch. The deputy tackled him in 3 strides. Keys flew. A shim fell near the tire. The deputy cuffed him and pushed him against the hood. Another cruiser slid into the front lot. 2 deputies stepped out, hands low, palms open. The gray hoodie stood still at the ice machine with his wrists crossed. He did not run. He did not argue. They turned him around and lifted his hands. No cuffs yet. One deputy said a name. The hoodie nodded. "That is me," he said. Calm. Polite. He read the badge. He said the deputy's name out loud and smiled. "We meet friends of friends in this county," he said. They cuffed him then. By daylight, the lot held 6 cars with bars on the windows. Tape blocked the doors. A box truck with county seals idled near the laundry. Nora sat at the office desk with a blanket over her shoulders. She stared at the ledger. A deputy wrote notes without looking up. They pulled the cable junction apart. They photographed the switch. They bagged the shim. They searched the van. They found cup sleeves in a crate. They found plastic cuffs. They found 2 sets of room keys from different towns with the brass tag scratched blank. They took apart the ice machine. A tech lifted the bin and shined a light. No bodies. Nothing like that. I had feared worse. What he found looked minor. A wedge behind the chute that stuck the flap open. A thinner feed line that forced frequent refills. A lure made of inconvenience. They searched the laundry. They found a hole cut behind a dryer large enough for a man to stand. The hole led to the crawl. The crawl led to the back lot. A path to vanish if doors locked at the wrong time. They searched the hoodie's car back at his place. They found a box of paper cups, a roll of cable, 3 motel maps with room 19 circled, Leah's name on one fold, Danny's on another, Mina's on the third, each with times underlined, 150, 200, 210. The short man, Jax, spoke first. He said he killed no one. He said he cut feed for cash and pretended to fix things. He said the hoodie asked him to watch the desk when Nora used the bathroom. He said he took a nap now and then. He said too much. Then he shut up. The hoodie asked for water. He asked for the time. He asked if deputies liked this job at night. He watched faces and learned names. He said nothing about room 19. They held both on a set of warrants for theft and tampering, while other counties built bigger cases. The state pulled records from 3 motels within 100 miles. Same chain, same room number, same camera cuts at the same 9-minute window. The pattern looked bold now. A map you could draw by hand. Families called. Leah's sister, Danny's mother, Mina's husband. I gave them what I had without the details that would keep them awake. Then I sat in my car and watched the starlight sign flicker between S and light until the L went black. I returned at dusk to record one more time. Trucks shook the desk. The soda machine hummed. The ice unit rasped. Nora handed me a box from under the counter. "Found in the laundry," she said. "Behind the dryer. For you." Inside, a cassette, no label, a cheap recorder, one new battery. I pressed play. Static filled the speaker, a breath under the noise. Calm. Measured, the whistle on the out. Then a voice. My own. From last night. Deputies on the way. The tape ran another minute. Footsteps. The clink of a cup on metal. Then the click of a stop button. Then nothing. Nora said, "He records the halls sometimes. He listens to voices." "Why keep mine?" I asked. She shook her head. "He keeps everything." I brought the cassette to the county. They tagged it and logged the time. They did not like my face in that moment. Reporters break rhythm. We sit too close. Weeks passed. The state announced charges in 2 counties: tampering, kidnapping, assault. No recovery yet. The district attorney stood on a step and read a statement. "We seek truth." That was all. Jax took a plea for the switch and the keys. He will trade time for testimony. He will point at the hoodie and say the line 1,000 times. He told me to cut the feed. He told me to nap. The hoodie asked for a bench trial. He wants the judge, not a jury. He wants facts without faces. He wants papers without mothers in the room. His lawyer wears thin ties and does not smile. I still drive past the starlight when trucks shake the town. The S flickers. The ice machine dumps a load. Nora does the crossword and looks up only when a bell rings. The ledger has a new blank page on top. The brass tag for room 19 hangs on a nail with the chain fixed and a new latch. I park and sit with the engine off. I drink coffee that went cold. I listen to the freezer breath and the highway hiss and the memory of a whistle that rode on the out. Lock the chain. Photograph the latch. If a stranger offers 2 cups at 2 a.m., keep the door shut. Call the desk. Call the county. Stay on the line. Subscribe for more original true crime stories.